1 muses at full speed, NB must also give page numbers coming hands to suggest parentheses. This is an Uber lecture, scattered as an uniform, ad-lib permitted to the extent time permits, etc., etc. A gestural performance as much as a verbal one. This too can be said aloud. This is Hesiod addressing the crowds, addressing the gods, Calliope, etc., etc. The muses, hail the muses, etc. Right on Foucault. The dream of a value-neutral language for the human sciences was inspired by the success of the physical sciences in applying stipulated languages and mathematical protocols to the analysis of their data, and has had an important effect on the development of attitudes within the human sciences with respect to the problem of language in general. It had the effect of concealing to the practitioners of the human sciences the extent to which the very constitution of their field of study was a poetic act, a genuine making or invention of a domain of inquiry. 252 White Tropics Discourse, Baltimore Live J2 Press, 1978, the year I was born. A given scientific discipline represents a commitment to a style of representation in the same way that a given genre represents a commitment to a structure of representation by which to figure the contents and relationships obtaining with the finite province of fictional current ibid. All systems of knowledge begin in a metaphorical characterization of something presumed to be unknown in terms of something presumed to be known, or at least familiar. We were sitting in the kitchen the other day, and a monkey sprang from our misunderstanding like a fully formed Athena out of Zeus's thigh. A monkey eats bean curds and sits amongst the other gods, drinking lotus leaf lattes and whispering sweet nothings into our corn burgers, our keyboards. He says, with what appears to be a sigh of relief, language has at last returned from its orphan descent into a representation. 236. Goddess of poetry. Poetic mode of theorization. Poetry, theory, juxtapositioning. Meaning emerges in the interstitial space between language and image and sound structure. Syntactic, heteronymous, heterogeneous, polyvocal, inconsistent, coherence through apparent inconsistency, style as radical breaks made of ruptures and restructurings, repetition of past structures and stories, retelling. Build never ex nihilo, but ex some piece of text. Through prismatic lens, idiosyncratic interpretation, making sense as making a sense, making our sense. Caught, eating the gods, memory of the body. Rhymes as having a logic. Juxtapose present to past image. Make a sort of sense between the two, an entre-deux. Entre deux jambes d'Athéna, l'enjambe, l'enjambement, qu'on ne surgit si ce n'est l'autre. The image that I have is Avital Ronell channeling Derrida, channeling the animals in a lecture hall at another NYU in downtown New York. A translation of another sort. Section 2, birds. Hail the muses, etc., etc. L'exposé généalogique qui tient dans le poème la place principale est beaucoup moins l'exposé d'une chronologie ou d'une évolution qu'un effort de mise en place de l'univers. Les catalogues d'Hésiode sont donc toujours chargés de sens. La valeur musicale des noms qu'il énumère, etc., etc. Annie Bonafé pour lire Hésiode. This is a catalog naming, listing, stretching, adding, collating, collecting, transposing, so that we hear again the birds, chronos, before him chaos. Before there was time, there was chaos. The 5 elements. From the 3 gunas arise the 5 elements. From sattva, consisting of clarity, comes the element ether. From rajas, consisting of energy, comes fire. From tamas, consisting of inertia, comes earth. Between sattva and rajas arises the subtle but mobile element of air. And between rajas and tamas arises water, combining mobility with inertia. These elements are the 5 states of matter: solid, liquid, radiant, gaseous, and ethereal. They delineate the 5 densities of all substances, all visible and invisible matter in the universe. They have psychological correspondences that indicate states of mind and qualities of emotion. sweet, wet, 1, heavy, 1, salty, water and fire, heating 3, sweet, wet, 2, heavy, 2, sour, acid, earth and fire, heating 2, sour, wet, 3, light, 3, astringent, earth and fire, heating 3, cooling 2, pungent, dry 3, heavy 3, pungent, air and fire, heating 1, pungent, dry 1, light 2, bitter, air and ether, cooling 1, pungent, dry 2, light 1.
Cleanliness indispensable to health. Conversation, trifling occurrences. Daily duties. Departure of guests. Dessert. Dinner announced. Domestics engaging. Giving characters to. Obtaining. Treatment of. Yearly wages. Table of. Mistress, dress, and fashion of them. Early rising. Etiquette of evening parties. Etiquette ballroom. Evenings at home. Family dinner at home. Mock turtle soup. Morello cherries to preserve. Normandy pippins stewed. Notice to quit. Strife or painful toil and forgetfulness and famine and tearful sorrows, fightings, battles, murders, manslaughters, quarrels, lying words, disputes, lawlessness and ruin. Nurse wet. Onion before the Christian era. In reference to its style, Dr. Johnson, who was himself greatly distinguished for his colloquial abilities, says that, quote, no style is more extensively acceptable than the narrative, because this does not carry an air of superiority over the rest of the company, ... end quote. Night. She sludged through a murky fog, but it wasn't that. It was thicker, heavier, denser, impenetrable, like pea soup left to thicken. The bottom of a wading pool, again. Here again, and a tear turned to a stream. Lousy hiccups. The old fuck. A grin plastered wearily to say it was okay, she was okay. The infinite, endless, dreary smile, convincing all those this was nothing, nothing at all, sir. I'm great, fine, okay. And onwards into a black heavy, and eyelids weary from the floods at night, upon waking, over tea, over the news, out of nowhere, mid-stride, in a cafe, in the street. It couldn't go on like this. There would have to be measures taken. Action. Drugs, maybe. She shuddered. She had avoided those until now. She would try to avoid them forever. Puddle water in the mud in the city versus puddle water in the countryside. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Black Sea, Dead Sea. Bodies of water. Bathtub water. Water to cook your pasta in, or pasta, depending. Water
to make your coffee with. Water that's too hot or too cold. Okay, I want a water story. Making tea, peeing, something, water. You, go. Una storia con el agua, la acqua.
There was some water, lots of water, really.
Okay, good. Next. Une histoire, l'eau. Quelque chose avec de l'eau. On a transpiré hier.
Il pleut, on pleure.
Il pleut, quoi?
Il pleut, on pleure.
Il pleut, on pleure. Super. Ok, c'est assez. Enough time. Strange animal creatures. This is from Dumézil. Bœuf, feu, métal, terre, eau, plante, la mauvaise pensée. Merci beaucoup en passant. Merci. Grazie. Merci. Ingrassa, on va la soif, la faim. De quelque manière, archange ou aspect de Dieu, qu'on interprète les entités avec un E majuscule, bien évidemment, ce tableau suscite des questions. Pourquoi cet ordre et les groupements préférentiels? Pourquoi, etc. Snake nymph Echidna fucked her dugs on Earthus, and begat the Sphinx that destroyed the Cadmeans, etc., etc. And then, of course, as always, Heracles killed him.
LGA.
LGA.
New York LaGuardia.
New York LaGuardia.
LGW.
LGW.
London Gatwick.
Gatwick.
LAX.
LAX.
Los Angeles International.
Los Angeles International.
BOS.
BOS.
Boston Logan.
Moi, ça m'épate complètement qu'ils puissent faire ça. Boston Logan.
YUL.
YQL.
That one's yours.
Montréal Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Avant, c'était normal. Yes, next.
LJU.
LJU.
Ljubljana. Oje Puchnik.
Ljubljana, ça je peux. Oje Puchnik.
CDG.
CDG. Ah, ça on connaît. Ouais.
BDL. Bradley.
BDL, Bradley. International.
SMF.
SMF, yeah, it's artistic almost.
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
CLE.
CLE.
Cleveland.
Where?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. C'est la traduction simultanée. Astral births, sun, moon, dawn, wind, cloud, whoosh, fast air, zephyrus. Okay, so Chuang says, quote, the fish trap exists because of the fish. Once you've gotten the fish, you can forget the trap. The rabbit snare exists because of the rabbit. Once you've gotten the rabbit, you can forget the snare. Words exist because of meaning. Once you've gotten the meaning, you can forget the words. Where can I find a man who has forgotten the words so I can have a word with him? End quote. Okay, why do you suppose the gods are all allowed to commit incest? Rhea and Kronos, Zeus and Hera, etc., but human beings can't. No time. Name some reasons why Kronos might want to swallow his children as they are born.
Hungry.
Hungry! Good answer. Good, okay. If you had to choose, Hecate, Kronos, Zeus.
Zeus.
Ah, interesting! Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy is all about Zeus. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, good. I was going to tell you wrong answer, but that's a great answer. Then it's the wrong answer.